Okay, so today we're going to do the pyramid. So this is going to be kind of like a little bit like the prism one and a little bit like the cone one that we did the other day. So volume of a prism, so if I look at just a prism, that one is the area of the base times the height. So the only thing we're going to do with pyramids is kind of like what we did with cones yesterday, and that's area of the base times the height divided by 3. So again, B is the area of the base, and H is our height. All right, so area of the base times the height divided by 3. So let's look at our first example. So this is a rectangle pyramid, which means our base is a rectangle, and it's a 10 by 11. So the first thing we're going to do is find the area of that base. So 10 times 11 is 110. So the volume of this pyramid is the area of the base times the height, which is 16, and then divide that by 3. So 110 times 16 divided by 3. And that should give you a total of 586.7 inches cubed. All right, let's look at the second one. Again, this is a rectangle pyramid, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw the base off to the side. It is a 21 by 9, which means the area of this base is 189. So now the volume is going to be that number, area of the base, times the height, which is 5, and then divide that by 3. So when I take 189 times 5 divided by 3, I get 315 yards cubed. All right, looking at the third one. Again, a rectangle pyramid, so we're going to draw that base off to the side. This one is a 14 by 14, which means the area of the base on this one is 196. So volume is the area of the base times the height. Now the problem is that the height would be right here. So we're given the slanted height, which is not what we need. So when we don't have something, we know we have to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, the whole thing is 14, which means this part is 7. All right, so now we're going to do Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to have 7 squared plus x squared equals 25 squared. So we get 49 plus x squared equals 625. You're going to subtract your 49 from both sides. You're going to get x squared equals 576. And then you're going to square root both of those. So you end up with a height of 24. So our actual height is 24. That means we put 24 into our formula and then divide by 3. So 196 times 24 divided by 3 gives you a total of 1,568 feet cubed. All right, now let's look at number 4. So number 4 this time is a triangular pyramid. So if I look at this, I can see this base down here is a triangle. So I'm going to draw that off to the side. And this is a 6 by 15. So the area of this base, because it's a triangle, we would take 15 times 6 and then divide it by 2. So the area of the base here is going to be 45. So volume says take the area of the base times your height, so that's going to be this guy, 14, and then divide that by 3. So 45 times 14 divided by 3 gives you 210 feet cubed. All right, last problem. So the first thing I would ask you is what two shapes do you see? So hopefully you see a prism and a pyramid, and they both have a triangle base. So let's look at the prism first. So the prism's formula is area of the base times the height. So we're going to be looking at this base, so it's a triangle base, and I know that this 12 goes down here and this 9 goes down here. So the triangle base looks a little something like this. So you have a 9, a 12, and a 15. Now when we find the area of this, we only care about these two numbers. So area of the base is going to be 12 times 9 divided by 2. So the area of the base is going to be 54. So volume here is going to be area of the base times the height of 10. So 54 times 10 is 540. Okay, if I look at the pyramid, so the pyramid has the exact same base. So we're dealing with that exact same base. So it's a 9 by 12 by 15. We only care about these two numbers. So area of the base is going to be 12 times 9 divided by 2, which is still 54. And our formula that we just learned today is area of the base times the height divided by 3. So the volume is going to be 54 times your height. So if I look at this picture, I can see that from here to here is 10 because my prism is 10, but the whole shape is 24. So 24 minus 10 tells you that the height of the pyramid is 14. So I'm going to use a 14, and then I'm going to divide that whole thing by 3. So 54 times 14 divided by 3 for a total of 252. Now, since I'm stacking these on top of each other, that means we are going to add them. So 540 plus 252 gives me a total of 792 feet cubed. Again, 792 feet cubed. Now, you should be able to get through your worksheet without any problems because I think we've done an example of everything. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.